guys, another video in the series of the RTA Playing tips. Haven't done this for a shit ton of time. I've been being lazy, I guess. Or didn't have that much time. Or a combination of the two of them. So yeah, previous videos I did Know Your Game, tip number 1. Tip number 2, how to be tilt proof. It's near the end of last season, season 7. So I'm gonna do tip number 3, which is watch replays. And there's a way to watch a replays. You probably all know it. Like, you go to best and you watch a couple of replays. But are you gonna gain anything from that? You just like, you check a match, like, hey, oh, what happened? Which monsters did they use? No, you gotta check it like for real. So there's two things to it. First of all, first thing is check out people that have similar mobs to yours. I keep getting messages. So yeah, check out guys that have similar mobs to yours. Like back in the day when I started getting into RTA, you had this one guy, Spirit Moon, and because I have a Gianna, I pretty much looked for a guy like, okay, who has a Gianna that has similar playstyles mine. So he was playing like Control with Gianna, Hathor, Genny and Sierra. I missed the Genny, I missed the Sierra. So yeah, for that reason I kind of tried to copy what he did, and that get me to a higher level. So the first part of this tip is try to find a guy that has similar units as yours. Also, if you don't have like any of the meta units, there are gonna be some guys that are playing without these meta units. They have insane rune quality for sure, but you can look at them, you can see like, okay, how are they fixing this? How do they overcome the problem of not having certain units? So the thing is, how do you find these people? That's could be difficult. You could ask around, you could ask me, like specifically like certain LD net 5 units or stuff like that. Or yeah, you just look around in best and you just see like, okay, what's similar to my playstyle. The thing is, just scrolling around best, just checking a few matches is always good, but what do you gotta look at when you watch at a match? So first one, I expect the guy on the right, G3 player, super high up guy, I know the guy, is gonna win. So I'm gonna check a match that's like a little bit more similar rank, and let's see what's happening. So on the left side we have a Perna, Wusa, Feng Ying, Ager, and a Kraka. Kraka's interesting, you don't see that many Krakas. On the other side we have a Molong, Tessarion, Chilling, Shiho, and a Harmonia. So what you want to do when you watch a replay, especially if you want to learn, like you're gonna watch this match, okay, it's like for the pick and bans, like, okay, first Perna was picked, decent pick, right? Then Wusa and Feng Ying were picked, not that common. But let's see, first off, for like the Perna was counted by a Molong and Tessarion, legit picks, legit picks. Then the Wusa was picked and a Feng Yang, and he answered with 2 more water units. So you're gonna know 100% sure he has to ban the Feng Yang pretty much. Or he has to pick a 5th unit, which is a counter to the Feng Yang, but a heavy counter, because it could be banned, right? So, is my video? Nope, that's actually fine. So yeah, you just look at it, it's like, okay, what's gonna be the picks, what's gonna be the bans? I'm predicting the guy on the left is gonna ban the guy on the left. For the guy on the right is gonna ban, let's say, that's almost more difficult. On the left, Feng Yang is gonna be banned. But the answer with the Ager is actually really good. Because the Ager is, you already know who's he gonna ban pretty much, right? So then you can pick units that are banning those units. And then an Ager, like having a similar element to everything on the board, and also an advantage on some of the elements on the board, which is water in this case, is a really good pick. If you would pick like a Diana right there, the Tessarion would pretty much, Tessarion would be a first ban right away, which would make it more difficult. On the right side, what should I ban? What should I ban? I wouldn't ban, actually I think I would ban the Harmonia, because that would kill out his sustain. He has potentially a couple of units with more sustain. I will ban out the Ammonia on the right side in this case. So let's see what happens, and let's see who wins. I think the guy on the left has the most potential to win. So that's what you should do if you want to watch replays to learn stuff. You should go into the match, you should analyze it. Okay, what should I do? What should he do? Who do I expect to win? Who do I expect to like bans, leaders, stuff like that. So I expect Feng Yang and Harmonia. Boom, straight up. I didn't watch this shit. For sure, I didn't watch this shit. But it's just, at some point, you watch so many matches and that's where you kind of get the deal. First target, I would go for the Shiho actually. Ooh, that stun on Agar was big. Ooh, and he stripped that right away. Perna's gonna be goner. Perna's gonna be goner. Ooh, that's a nice stun. Okay, this is looking quite difficult, but he has this. And this resets the fucking cooldown as well. That skill is so strong. Nice sleep. Ouch. Confiscate. I'm not too sure about that. If he would do that on the chilling, he could steal the shield buff, which could be quite strong. See? The guy on the left one. It was a close match though. It could be it was going quite close, quite fast either way. But because of the revive, he had more potential. And also after the first initial start, the other guy didn't have any immunity anymore. Whereas the first guy, like the guy with the boost, actually had. So I expected more sustain to be winning. So let's watch the next match. Actually, this is a Dutch guy I do know. So what's he picking? So first pick Fren. It's getting more common right now, right? So and then he answers Fren with a Bastet Shiho. I'm pretty sure it's just like all round picks. Picking his Shiho that early could be risky, but I think Perna picked that earlier is actually less risky because Perna's more all round. Gets answered with a Sierra and Josephine, which is quite good. Then that is answered with a Perna and the Light Ifrit. I'm not too sure about the Light Ifrit though. Actually, I think the Light Ifrit could be quite strong. It's pretty much for me like a segment. If it does its thing or her thing, it's super strong. If it misses, it's complete garbage. And that's like a close edge where you have like 50-50 matches. And for myself, I don't want 50-50 matches. I want like 80-20 matches pretty much. It's not possible, but... And then he answers with Ethna. Ethna is a really good pick against these because it's pretty much countering everything. So I'm expecting on the left side Ciara will be banned because that's the heaviest damage dealer. On the right side I expect Ethna to be banned. And with all of that said, depending how Orion lands his debuffs, I think the right person will win. So I'm just going over a few matches, like how you should watch replays, not just like hit a couple of replays and watch them, see like, oh, Valbrock, bullshit, stun lock, resist, that kind of... No, just actually look at what's happening, look at what could be done better. So, as expected, Sierra and the Ethna ban. I'm really wondering how this Light Ifrit is gonna do. Who's he gonna hit? Oh, the chilling! Oh, he got so much damage! Oh shit! You need a little bit more crit rate though to make it more consistent, but... Ooh! Straight up fucking did! Yeah, you can continue to play this, but pretty much you lose, man. Or can you come back? No, right? No way. No way you got that much damage. Sure thing you have some damage, but not that much. Sure thing he's gonna steal your... Yeah, man, that Light Ifrit has sick ton of damage. It's ruined like heavy on stats. I like to see that shit. So let's refresh the list. Let's see what we have here. Similar ranks. I want to see if there's like a G3 against a G3. Okay, this is one of those interesting guys, right? You say like, oh, I don't have all of these OP net 5s. You can copper bulldozers people. Trust me, it could work. However, he pretty much answers it with one of the best counters already, which is a Vanessa Triana. And a Sierra, which pretty much ignores the defense straight up. But I think it's a difficult setup because what's the Raccoon gonna do? The Raccoon doesn't have that much impact to actually be that strong. So on the left side I will ban the Sierra. On the right side, who would you ban? it's always looking like, okay, how can you break up the system? How can you like make it that difficult for him that he can barely do anything? In this case, because it's 4 wind, 1 fire, I will ban out the fire because you yourself have 2 fire units, and because of that you have quite some options that the glancing hit will work in your favor. So I would ban out the copper. Yep, definitely. Or leave in the copper, ban out the bulldozer, and on the other side ban the Sierra. But I'm not that confident with like using copper teams myself, so I'm not too sure if he would ban out the Vanessa, maybe because he's expecting the bulldozer ban. So, oh yeah, he's actually banning the Vanessa. Yep. And he's banning the copper, leaving the bulldozer in. That's not. I don't think that's a good one. That makes it so much more difficult for you, and you're gonna lose because of that. Pretty much straight up. I think. Right? Or can the Sierra. Yeah, no, you're losing. There's no way you come back from this. Like the moment you see this is a game. This is done. He lost. So that Vanessa ban was actually good. That Vanessa ban was actually really smart because either banning the copper or the bulldozer or any of the units would have resulted in he can kill Triana. Plus, on top of that, he could do more stuff. I think the biggest fault on the guy on the left in this one was picking the Raccoon. Raccoon couldn't do anything. Like if the Raccoon was a legit other unit that could fuck up like a bulldozer pretty much, he had like a legit team. So what unit could that be? I don't know. I don't know. It has to be like some kind of water. If you're already planning to ban the copper, you could just like pretty much pull some water units which could do some things. Like if you would have like an Aegir, for example, an Aegir would pretty much like steal all of those buffs and it get like super annoying. So I think that could be strong. Let's see what other matches do we have. Let's refresh. I'm not sure like how long I'm running right now. 12 minutes, not that long. Maybe I can do a couple more matches. I think this is actually fun to do. It's actually like a play tip, but I can actually also make this more into a regular, just maybe like twice a month or just like weekly, maybe even. Just go over some matches. I'll check out this match because it's something we're seeing more and more, which is the Vertihul, especially combined with Agani Hathor. And after that, I'm gonna watch some matches of myself. Let's see what I have in my history right now. So yeah, the thing about Vertihul right now, Vertihul is actually like an inverted offense ragdoll. For example, if you use Gani Hathor, and you would use a ragdoll, you wouldn't get that many crits on your ass. So in fact, Ragdoll's not that effective. Okay, still he deals like a ton of damage and he's super strong, sure. But the Vertihul on the other hand would give you every turn a 40% attack bar boost of your whole team. So that could be quite strong. Okay, so let's look into the bans. I am expecting a Ragdoll ban, of course, on the right side. That's pretty much mostly a must. And on the left side, I'm expecting a Hathor ban. He has double immunity, including a cleanser, which only Hathor can kind of disrupt the Velajul, I guess. And he last picks a Ferret, so it's pretty much a must that he's banning one of the water units, or one of the wind units. Is Ferret like a strong pick here at the end? I think so. I think the guy on the right has like decent sustain to make it difficult for the guy on the left. Because he doesn't have that many strips. And you're fighting double immunity, so... So yeah, you're fighting double immunity, so it could be quite difficult for the guy on the left. I think the guy on the right will win. So Ragdoll will be banned, and I expect the Hathor to be banned. So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. Also, when you're fighting double immunity, it's not... He's banning the... Oh, wow, this is not something I expected. The guy on the left is gonna have, like, big-time issues. See, that doesn't work that often. Oh, we got such a lucky violent proc on that one. Because, nope, still didn't get the extra turn because he's critting, of course. See, now it's just hands down, it's a lose. It's just hands down a lose. Like, you can shatter, you can do whatever. You're fighting double immunity. And if you pick, like, the Verdi he'll pick into a double immunity is rather risky because you lack these strips. And you pretty much lose on that right away. And that's also something that's really nice. The Ferret was pretty much a checkmate pick. Because if your 5th pick is a must-ban pick for the enemy, you're really likely to win. And that's why having the 5th pick, or like having the last pick, could be really strong. Because you can determine the whole pick and ban phase just with one pick. So, oh yeah, I was gonna go over some of my matches. Let's see if I'm playing some G3 people. This is one I lost. Yeah, we can check that out, what I lose. So, for this one... Oh yeah, this is a difficult one. This is definitely a difficult one. Because the Triana is pretty much hard countering me. Or the Tetra is hard countering me. The Bolfrig is hard countering me. And the other units are just like super good core units as well. So this is quite a difficult one. He's most likely gonna ban out the Sierra. I'm pretty sure he did actually. And I think I banned out... Ooh, I'm not sure actually. I think like during the pick and ban phase I pretty much already thought like, okay, I'm gonna lose this one and guess I get like quite lucky. I'm not too sure what I banned out here. Because this is a difficult one for me, what to ban out. Maybe I just went for like the Vanessa. I think the Yanhong actually, Yanhong. Yeah, as expected. I banned the Yanhong. So now pretty much Ager has to do like, show as much magic as he can. That's pretty much the deal. Ager has to show as much magic as he can, and then I have a potential of winning. Yeah, he gets a proc there. It's okay. It's a little bit unlucky early on. Sleep, I get a proc, so we're even out in procs at the moment. Another proc for that one. Ooh, that's actually quite heavy, because otherwise I could do like a lot more damage. I think his Ganymede gets quite some procs here, but still that's not a reason for me to have like a bad pick and ban. Yeah, okay, that's the 3rd proc in a row for a Ganymede. That's difficult to fight. That's quite difficult to fight. Double freeze is nice. Yeah, that's the thing. Could I have done this better? He procced away that as well. He got some lucky procs at like good times though. Actually, this still could go either way. They still, like, Ager can still do quite some magic. Oh, that's too bad that it's so close. If it could have killed him there, or this one could have killed, I would have won. But yeah, no, I lose. So that was a really close match. So he had some clutch violent procs. I didn't have the best pick and ban. I didn't have the best pick and ban. I think going Amelia that early was maybe a risk. I think another unit that's maybe a bit more all-round would have been better. And also then he didn't pick the Bolfrig. So he countered me hard. Like his last 2 picks are really strong. So let's check out Make It. But oh no, I remember this fight. This is like a super long drawn out fight waiting for like one proc either way, and then in the end he proc one more and he won. If I proc one more I would win, so wasn't that interesting of a match. Let's see what else do we have. This guy. Okay, pretty similar setup actually. And he uses both the ragdoll and the 30 heal. So I'm banning the ragdoll, pretty much mostly banning the ragdoll. I just hate that guy. So for me, against the Hathor, I just take some immunity. I take a Raccoon. And then against Verdiheal, Aegir is really strong. I think we're gonna see more Aegers just because Verdiheal is that strong at the moment. So let's see what happens. And I think he bans out. What would he ban out? I think he bans the Amelia. That's what I would do, I think. Yep, ban of Amelia. Goes for Resist lead, which is smart. Because Resist leads against Sierra is most likely to happen, and Aegir as well, because those are the kind of units that are not that likely to have near to 100% accuracy. Actually, a lot of the Giannas do not have high accuracy. Mine actually does, but a lot of them don't. So if you have the potential of using resistance lead against a Gianna Sierra user, use it, because it's very likely that they're not near to 100% resistance, and you can fuck them over with that. So let's see what happens. Yeah, it's pretty much now just to hit my Raccoon a lot. I think I remember this match. This is 30 who was proccing like crazy. Not too sure. Yeah, that's the second proc. I'm not too sure how many procs I have, because that's always the thing. You only remember how many procs the enemy had. You barely remember how many procs you had. At some point, I had some matches and I was talking to a guy like, "Oh my god, you had so many procs, right?" And I was like, "Yeah," and then he was like, "Yeah, but you also had quite some procs." Like, yeah, probably. But in this case, I didn't have too many procs yet. Didn't have too many procs yet. Oh, is he actually gonna sleep the Raccoon now? If he doesn't, yeah, he does. Like, if he wouldn't target the Raccoon would get a turn. So I get like a big proc there. Actually, this... No, I lost this. Yeah, yeah, that's the thing. Like, at some point, I thought I won this actually by looking at the match. But no, I lost it, and it's quite obvious. At some point, there's like no way of coming back anymore. So... Yeah, like in the last video I did some RTA showcases. Yeah, I do lose. I do make mistakes. I do make some bad calls. And I do have bad luck sometimes. So yeah, it's part of the game. So let's check out this guy. And that's the last one I checked for myself. Then I check one or two more in the normal. And then I actually didn't go over the picks and bans. So... Okay. I will ban out too less time to think about it. That one actually makes sense. And for him, I don't have like any damage. At least it barely looks like any damage. But actually, my Hathor is that good runed that it still has like quite some attack. And Triana also starts adding up some damage at some point. But this actually looks like quite a bad match for me. Because I pretty much have 4 supports. What's this fucking stupid team? I have fucking 4 supports, and Gianna was my 5th, which is rather more support CC'er than the damage dealer. But the thing is, I have like a lot of like immunity, and the immunity and like the every turn heals and stuff like that, including with some strong CCs, that's pretty much like fucking him over. So like 4 supports doesn't necessarily even have to be a bad team. I think it's like that's no damage, man. Okay, my Arthur is like on a lot of like HP, but that was barely any damage. Also, my Hathor is on a lot of resistance. And this is a resistance lead, so Hathor is actually with resistance lead on like 99% resistance. So against Sierra, that shit is gonna work. Sierras are like highest 75% accurate by highest. Like most of them have like 50 to 60. If you then end up with 100% resistance, you're gonna resist that stuff like pretty much like 30 to 40% of the time, which is a lot. That is definitely a lot, and that shit is gonna work. Like, the thing with RNG is, the more times you try it, the more likely it will be to happen. So if you just have like one streak of bad luck, doesn't necessarily mean that the next day is gonna be the same. If you have high resistance, you're gonna resist stuff at some point. Like again, Gannies, they probably don't have high Eki. Okeanos, most of them do, but there's quite some people that actually don't max out the Eki on Okeanos. So I pretty much won this on resistance lead. Because all of my units here are topping 100% resistance. So that's just, yes, it can work. Yes, it is strong. And people say like, oh, the Eki resistance blah blah is a lie. I think it's not. It's just chances. So yes, you can get a net 5 in one scroll, but it won't happen that often. Yes, you can resist like 40% of the time, but still it's 40%. It's not gonna be 50-50, right? It's that simple. So keep those things in mind and use it to your advantage. Because in this case, what I think would be better for this guy, he took like the speed lead. If we would take like, I'm actually not too sure if he took the speed lead. I'm pretty sure he took the speed lead. I would expect him to take the speed lead. If he would take Aki lead, I think he would have won. I'm pretty sure he would have won. Because then the bomb would have hit, resets would have hit, resets of the attack bar would have hit, that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna check actually if he took the... So that's also the thing, not always speed lead is the most thing to go for. Like I pretty much always have a speed lead in my team, but sometimes I just go for a resistance lead just because I know like, hey, this is gonna fuck him up more than a speed lead. Or if you're a Ganny user or an Okeanos often user, what's this? Yeah, speed lead, boom, straight up. He's losing through the speed lead. He didn't need that extra speed. He didn't need that extra speed. See, like two skills were resisted. The first with the reset of the Okeanos was resisted. Then the reset of the attack bar of Ganny was resisted. If both would have hit, he wouldn't even need to do the second one pretty much. So that's the thing, like resistance lead, Aki lead, that shit is strong, it's so much. So that's also the thing you gotta look in when you're looking at replays and stuff like that. Like, okay, what could have been done differently? Let's look at an heavy LD net 5 team on the left. Ooh, the left team looks strong as hell. So, okay, let's see what's going on. We got a Molong, a Vivachel, Okeanos, Wolfric, and an Artemil. Ooh, that's such a heavy team, man. That's such a heavy team. And on the right side, is a decent reaction. But on the right side, if you would ban out the... I would ban out the Wusa, maybe? I think you have a lot of good options to ban on the right side, actually. Sierra is a good ban, Ethna is a good ban, Wusa is a good ban, Fren is a decent ban, so you have 4 units which you can choose from to ban, so this is difficult for me to say like, hey, what's the best ban? Personally, I would maybe go for a... I think I would ban Sierra, and the reason behind that is I think Sierra is the biggest threat, like damage-wise. Ethna can be a really strong threat damage-wise, but Sierra with one bomb, especially on an attack buff, can do so much damage and pretty much insta-kill one of your units. Like, if it goes further into the game, especially like Artemils, they're like HP-based or like defense-based, it's gonna be difficult. On the left side, however, that's gonna be a super difficult ban because Bolfric is hard countering you, Vivachel is always countering you, Okeanos is countering quite often some of your units. Artemil is one of the strong, like Artemil is I think the strongest unit. Yeah, like by win rate, Artemil is the strongest unit right now. But yeah, what would I ban? I think I would go for the Artemil. Yeah, I would go for the Artemil because it's just disrupting too much. And on the right side, I would go for Sierra. So Artemil and Sierra, let's see what happens. And I still think the guy on the left will win because Vivachel can just change your fucking attack bar and HP bar and you're fucked. Actually, I fought the guy on the left a couple of times as well. I hate to fight Vivachels. And Bolfric is also hard countering this stuff. Okay, I was completely wrong. I was completely wrong in. I have no clue why you would ban a Vanessa though. That I don't have any clue. Ooh, that Sierra is so slow. If the Sierra was actually faster, that then he would have been like quite high on damage, pretty much. Fairy's Blessing. Actually, he has quite a good shot now. He has a decent shot. Like, are you gonna? No, you don't have any attack bar to reset. Like, damn damage. Okay, Bolfric ban was good. Bolfric ban was definitely good. But I think banning out FIFA or any of the other units. No, I think Bolfric ban was actually good. Bolfric ban was really good, and the Vanessa ban was really bad. Vanessa ban didn't do anything. Like, if Vanessa was in there instead of the Sierra, nothing would have died. Like, your Artemil would not have died. Like, not in a million times. Like, it would be taking so much more damage to kill out the Artemil or like any of your units. Whereas Sierra attack buff, you're done. Like, shit's gonna hurt. Like, Sierra's hurt. So, ooh, this guy Ling. I actually met the guy on the right. He's also living in Shanghai. I met him in Korea. And I was sitting in like SWC Korea, and I was looking around. I was sitting there with another guy, also a European player, Zuik, pronounce it correct. But we were looking around like, okay, so what's the level of these guys around us? Like we're watching like BD and DGP and all of like the people who are playing SWC in Korea. And at some point we see a couple of people and he starts speaking some Chinese to a couple of these people. My Chinese is still horrible, I could barely speak anything. But at some point it's like, oh yeah, so are you? So I show myself, so she's and it's like, oh yeah. And he pulls up a match against me. He's like, oh, did I win? It's like, no, you lost. It's like, ah, okay. But yeah, the guy on the right, Ling, he's a very good player. Like Ragdoll and Artemil, super good player. And I completely got off track. I didn't look at any of the picks and bans. This is interesting though. There's 0 will runes. He's fighting 0 will runes with a Gani Hathor. Or against the Gani Hathor. That's some risky shit there. Especially because you have like a boosted Perna. And boosted Perna hurts. As you can see, that shit hurts. Yeah, I think Ling is gonna lose this shit here. It's so difficult to get through this. Like, because there's no real counter to the Gani Hathor. That's the first. Well, Ragdoll more or less is, but not really. And Gani Hathor is what's like the weak side on the Gani Hathor is it's gonna take too long to do damage, mostly. And then you can add up at some point you get like one proc with a unit and then you just straight up like kill the whole combo. But he has like a powered up like attack buff Perna right here, which makes it so much more difficult. Well, the other guy is actually also a good player though. I'm trying to read these Chinese names, but I'm actually not getting that far. Yeah, Link pretty much lost. I think that the bottom guy is called something like, or the guy on the left is called something like Ro, which is meat, and then Yang, which could be like lamb, but this one is different, and then Xiao Fei Nan. I'm not sure what that would mean. That's sometimes the problem. Like you know how to write, like read these Chinese characters, but you don't know what it says. Like sure, whatever. Okay, let's look at this one. G2 match, a little bit low match. Bloodbath. We watched him before. Light average user. I think that's cool to see. Heavy fire team on the left. Heavy fire team on the left. Garo first pick. Not a big fan. Garo is a strong unit, but Garo is not a first pick. There's too many counters. Like 3 out of 5 units here already counter. Well, actually, pretty much 4 out of 5 units here counter Garo on the enemy team. So it's not gonna work. Then on the right side, okay, so picks and bans. Who should you pick? Who should you ban? I think the guy on the right side, Shio, is gonna be banned because that's the hardest counter on Garo. on the left side, he's gonna leave Draco in. He's gonna leave Wusa in for sure. He's gonna ban either Garo or Laika. You could ban the Vanessa, but I don't think it's that necessary to ban the Vanessa here. I would personally ban Laika, I think. Yeah, I would ban out Laika because Laika's the most consistent damage of his team, which could be more difficult to kill than Igaro. So let's see what happens. So I say Laika ban, I say Shiho ban. And I think Bud will win. He's respecting the Light Ifrit. I love to see that shit. He's respecting the Light Ifrit. Ooh, that's a heavy sleep turn 1. That's a heavy sleep turn 1. He's gonna risk it. He's gonna risk it. Still, there's not that much damage. Like, your damage is pretty much nullified already. That's not a tanky Vanessa. That hurts. Switching target to the Perna. Not too sure if that's your most common thing right now. Yeah, next turn there's gonna be the buff of the Wusa, or buff of the Bastet. I think Bloodbath has this. He can easily work down the Draco right now. When he works down the Draco, you have like plenty of time to work down the Gyaro. Third skill will come up from Shiho. You pretty much like kick his head. Oh, that sleeps! The sleeps! I would hit the Draco or the Gyaro right now. I would definitely have hit the Gyaro right now. Because Perna wouldn't kill it. And then you actually had a shot with Bastet to maybe kill it. And this could be... Okay, 19k, Jesus. Okay, maybe I should ruin my Shiho. Shit, man, that's a shit ton of damage. Fuck. Ooh, oh yeah, okay, this is my last match. This is my last match. Then I think we've been over enough, like, replays and stuff like that, so... What I would suggest to you is like pretty much finisher before I wrap up this video with the last match. Get maybe a second device or like install an emulator or like whatever. Go somewhere where you can match or like look at matches while you're still farming. Or just if you're like before you go to bed, you probably have your phone, you're clicking down some wings and then you're watching some RTA matches or stuff like that. So yeah, I'm gonna watch this one and then gonna wrap it up. So let's see what we have. We have again Hathor with a Verdial, super strong combo. Verdial friend, super strong combo, super annoying. Enemy has an Odin. Ooh. And an Emilia. So what would I ban on the left side? On the left side I would probably ban... There's not that much damage on the left side. If you would ban out the Hathor, he doesn't have a strip, so Amelia is a must ban, which gives you a lot of potential to do a lot more shit. Even though there's a Verdial, he's gonna get like shit ton of turns. It's gonna be annoying, but the moment you hit like 1 or 2 procs, like especially if the Perna procs, this is a dead Verdial, pretty much. So yeah, I think Hathor and Amelia. And who's gonna win? I think I still have to give it to the left side because Genny is probably still disruptive enough to fix out the other guys. Unless he gets like a good... If the guy on the right can snipe on the first turn like someone down, which I don't expect to happen actually, then the right guy will of course win, but I think the left guy will win. And it's gonna be so Genny and Amelia. Amelia for sure. Genny or Hathor and Amelia. Hathor I'm not too sure about. On the left side there's more options to ban. On the right side it's pretty much a must that you're banning the Amelia. What? You're not banning Amelia? That's so risky. If Amelia gets 1 turn, you pretty much lost. He's gonna Sweet Dreams Amelia. ¿Por qué no? Why not? Okay, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, there's also not too. You can actually work down the Perna because it's already reset, but that's the thing. You just got some procs and you're out of immunity. Well, okay, you can do that, of course. Genny Hathor is still so strong. Yep, Genny Hathor is definitely strong. That's the thing why I'm kind of like not liking Perna that much, because Perna is strong, but against the Genny, which is like the wrong element, you pretty much get fucked over. You pretty much get fucked over, straight up. Lack of resistance. Oh, oh, that's actually heaven and earth. I know this guy on the left. His name means heaven and earth in Chinese, so that's Tian Di Ren. So yeah, that's to wrap it up. I actually had it wrong completely. So that can happen. That can happen. Like, I'm pretty much like G2, G3 player. I can call myself G3 player right now, I guess. So yeah, showing off. But thing is to wrap this up. Yes, I actually used this team in an RTA battle. I think it was Goodwill. But yeah, to wrap it up, look into some people that have similar units as yours. Add them, set them in favorite, look how they're using their units, maybe look at their speed tuning, maybe even go to their server and just check out like, okay, how do you got shit ruined. Most of the people don't hide everything. Like some of the really top RTA players, they hide their units, but a lot of them actually don't. Make use of that. Go in there, find those people, check their units, check their runes, check what you can do, check how they play. Like especially go for like the G2, G3 kind of players and check out their stuff. Of course, you're probably not on their rune quality, you don't have all of the units, but it just gives you an idea of what's possible with your units. So, and if it's absolutely not possible for you, find another guy. And besides that, just watch like RTA matches. It's gonna bring your game to the next level as well. If you just watch like a shit ton of RTA matches and you just start like predicting like picks, bans, stuff like that, at some point you get better at it. And at some point you can also say like, okay, this and this should be the pick and ban. And if this doesn't happen, person X or person Y is winning. And let's see if you're right or wrong a couple of times. Like the last one I was completely off. That can happen. It can definitely happen. Because I'm also not used to like every play style. I'm also not watching that many matches at the moment anymore actually. Just playing my own sometimes and just farming a lot. But that's definitely like a good RTA tip. Just watch matches, but watch them with a mindset, not of like, ooh, Brock, resist, lucky. No, it's just looking at what's happening. You have like a lot of points where you can put influence on in a game, how it progresses, how the picks and bans are, which units you target, blah blah, that kind of stuff. It's not just purely luck. Of course, there's a big factor that's luck, but if you want to improve yourself, you cannot improve your luck. Like unless you do, let me know how. I'm interested. But besides that, just try to get the points where you can actually influence the game, get better at those. So personally, for me, like I'm preparing for like SWC 2018. I watched my or like 2019. I watched my match of 2018 a couple of times, and with the knowledge that I have now, I'm like, shit, I fucked up. I could have like, especially last match, I could have picked so much better. But that's the thing. I just didn't have enough experience yet with pretty much being, well, in tournaments. That's the one. Being behind into or even in tournaments, but like being on match point, either way. And also working with the pressure, like, okay, what should you pick? And I pretty much like checked myself into a pick and ban in the third match, and which is like the most stupid thing you can do. That's the only point where you cannot blame like any RNG, anything whatsoever, is the pick and ban. So okay, you can say like, oh, I didn't get first pick. Yeah, okay. Besides that, whatever. But yeah, just check these things. Like, can't emphasize that enough. If you want to get better, you gotta check like a lot of RTA matches. It's gonna help you. You gotta play a lot of RTA. You gotta check a lot of RTA matches. So that's definitely helping you out. So I actually thought I'm gonna make this like 20-30 minutes, but it's been 45 already. And yay, you're still watching. You're awesome. So to wrap it up, If you like this video and the other RTA play tips, tell me to be not lazy. I got, I think, 2 or 3 more that I have planned pretty much. I think I made like this video quite some overlapping with other videos I was planning to do. Huh, doesn't matter that much, but yeah. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, do all of that other jizz that everyone's asking you to do. So am I. I guess so. So yeah, Seiishizo was here. Peace out.